I don't surf 20 and 30-foot waves. Um, I'm not a big wave surfer. These things are all relative. Every surfer's got their upper limit. And I write quite a bit about my own experiences near and beyond my upper limit. And I've surfed a fair amount with big wave surfers in Hawaii, in Fiji, in Madeira, in Oaxaca, in Mexico. I mean, guys who are way, way out there, among the best big wave surfers in the world. And they're a completely different breed. I'm not one of them, never could be. So it's all relative. And strangely, I have got more interested in bigger waves at an since I got old. I mean, I never owned a gun, a specialized big wave board. Kind of refused to own a gun when I was younger. I didn't want to have one because that would mean I might be obligated to paddle out when it was huge. It was only in the 90s, I must have been in my 40s, when I was regularly going to Madeira, where the surf was often really big, and I needed a gun. And I got a proper Brewer gun and needed it all the time, and sometimes it wasn't big enough. And I just slowly got into bigger and bigger waves, partly because my skills as a small wave surfer started to deteriorate, and bigger waves really hide that. But it's all very gradual, you know. I mean, the ocean will subject you to a quantum leap you don't want one day when it suddenly gets a lot bigger than you can handle. But the problem with, calling waves by numbers, this is a 10-foot wave, that's a 20-foot wave, is that it's. I was just talking to a climber, a serious mountain climber, about what's a 5'10" and what's a 5'12" route on a cliff on a steep face, and it's the same thing. There's this macho aspect that underestimates the size of waves. So, for instance, just the other day, I was showing a guy I know who's been around the ocean a lot, done a lot of sailing and a bit of surfing, a picture of a wave I rode a couple of weeks ago in Indonesia. And he said, "How big is that?" And I said, it's meaningless. And he says, "But how, it's 4 times overhead. It's 4 times your size." I said, "Yeah, it's a 20-foot face. Is it a 20-foot wave?" No. In the sort of social world of surfing, it is not a 20-foot wave. And it's just a bunch of hocus pocus. And it's a sort of social consensus. There's a sort of agreement, and there are places where it's absurd, like in Hawaii. There are places where a 6-foot wave is the size of a small cathedral, and there is no 8-foot wave, and in fact there is no 9-foot wave in surfing. If there was anything even remotely scientific about this, you could have a 6, a 7, an 8, and a 9-foot wave. But no, it's all convention. It was 8 foot, and then it was 10 foot. It's never been 9 foot in the history of surfing. That's just how surfers are about this sort of thing. So that's why I said I've never surfed 20 or 30-foot waves. I've surfed waves with faces that high, but that's not what we call them. And I really, it's the, I don't know, the metabolism, what it is about big wave surfers, the guys I've been around who don't seem to be scared when they really, really should be scared. And they don't have the natural sort of fight or flight thing that, even if you're quite experienced, you should have. And yet, waves that are terrifying to me, they're still laughing. So it's all relative, and sure, there are people who think that it's big and I still surfing, but then it gets much, much bigger, and I'm not, and other people are. So that's how it is.